Okay, hello everyone. We are now with the last lesson or video lesson for our quarter one, module one, lesson two. Okay, so as we said, lesson two is all about the poems, literary elements of the Seven Ages of Man by William Shakespeare. So we are now with our last focus lesson, which is all about figures of speech, which is an element of poem. Okay, so what do we mean by figures of speech? So, figures of speech or figurative language is an element of poetry that makes it unique from the other two genres of literature. So, to fully understand what figures of speech are, let's analyze the two important keywords. What are these two important keywords in the word figures of speech? These are the words figures and speech. So the word figures literally means symbols or images, while the word speech literally means expressions. So we can therefore conclude that the meaning of figures of speech is using expressions to create an image to the reader, although figures of speech is also used in prose and drama. So, a poem cannot be a poem if it is not used or figures of speech are not used. So, figures of speech is also a rhetorical device that makes the poem ornate or attractive. So, we have actually several types of figures of speech. Okay? So, there are figures of speech that shows resemblance. Examples of these are simile, metaphor, and personification. There are also figures of speech that are used to show emphasis or to give importance to an idea. Examples of these are repetition, hyperbole, and rhetorical questions. Then we also have parallelism or similar grammatical structure, which are irony, oxymoron, and paradox. And the last one is the sound effects. Okay, actually there are more than four, but these are the most common one. So for the sound effects, we have the onomatopoeia or the imitation of sound, assonance, and alliteration. So the poem Seven Ages of Man uses a lot of figures of speech. So let's take a look at some of the examples and let's analyze what figures of speech is used in the following lines. So the first line is the whining schoolboy, creeping like a snail. So, what are the two things compared? So, there's a comparison made here. The whining schoolboy, creeping like a snail. So, what are the two things that are being compared here? If you said the whining schoolboy and the snail, then you are right. So, what are the word that was used to compare them? So, the word that was used is the word like. So this kind of figurative language is called simile. Simile is a figurative language that is used to show similarities of different things, using signal words like the word like in this example, same as, and as. In this line, we can clearly see that the child is compared to a snail because of the word like. Next word. Okay. All the world's a stage. So to what is the world compared to? How would you differentiate it to the previous line that we analyzed? Okay, which is the whining schoolboy. So the line shows or tells that the world is like a stage. This is an example of a metaphor. So a metaphor is a direct comparison of two unlike things, and a metaphor can be a simile. And also, simile can be a metaphor if you use or drop the signal word of similarity. So let's take a look at the following examples. Okay. Men and women are like actors in a play. men and women are actors in a play. So in the first sentence, there is the word like. That's why the first sentence, men and women are like actors in a play, is a simile. But in the second sentence, men and women are actors in a play, this is a metaphor because there is no uh, word like the word like, same as, etc. Now let's go to the third line. They have their exits and their entrances. What have you noticed in the underlined words? Exits and entrances. Do they mean the same? Okay. So the words exits and entrances are antonyms or of different meanings or opposite meanings. It is used to bring out contrast of ideas by using opposing words, clauses, or sentences. So when we say opposing, it means contrasting or different, totally different. So this kind of figurative language is called antithesis. Let's go to the last line. Okay. So the last line says, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. What have you noticed to the underlined words? Okay. Why do you think it is repeated by the writer or the poet? So the word sans is repeated several times in the line. So this type of figurative language is called repetition. So repetition is often used to emphasize something. In this line, the word sans or none is repeated to emphasize or give importance that everything will be nothing in the end. And that ends our lesson for quarter 1, module 1. Quarter 1, module 1, lesson 2. I hope all these video lessons will help you in answering your module packs or SLMEM. Okay. You can go back to these videos again and again. It will be posted in the YouTube account, Google Classroom, and my website. Okay. Goodbye and stay safe, my dear students. God bless you. And again, see you in our next lessons. Bye and God bless.